Hi everyone, Glenn Bartley here. Welcome to another YouTube video. Well, it's 2021 now, and as we all know, the last 9 months or so have been a bit of a mess with the pandemic. One of the things that I've been doing is helping people with their digital darkroom skills, because obviously most of us are kind of cooped up at home, and one thing we can do productively is to improve our skills in the digital darkroom. I always notice that one step that people like to skip is calibrating their monitor. And this is such an important first step. There's no point at becoming super proficient and efficient and skilled in Photoshop if your monitor is not calibrated. Why is that so? Well, because what that would mean is you could be spending hours editing your photos thinking they look perfect on your monitor. And maybe they do to you on your screen. But as soon as you would send them to a print lab or email them to a friend or post them on the internet, everybody else sees something completely different because your monitor is not calibrated. So it's absolutely an essential first step. So today what we're going to do, we're going to look at the, I just got this new calibration device from Datacolor. It's the Spider X Elite. They were nice enough to send me one to test out. So we're going to run through the calibration on both my main computer here with my, proper full-size 27-inch monitor here, and then we'll also do it on the laptop just so we can see any differences and just walk you through that process. So the first thing to know is you'll obviously get the product, open up the box. The very first thing you're going to do is there's a little tab in here that tells you where to go to get the software. So you'll download that software, and then this website will actually have a very easy to walk through step-by-step instructions as to what to do to get the software and plugging in the device, and that's where we'll kind of meet up here. One thing I want to mention is, because I have an NEC monitor here, it has its own calibration software. It has SpectraVision calibration software. So on this machine, I'm going to use the NEC software along with the hardware from Datacolor. On the laptop, it doesn't have NEC software. It doesn't have SpectraVision. So I'll use the Datacolor software for the laptop, okay? So let's get into it now. We'll now go to kind of like a screen capture video so you'll see what I'm seeing while I'm calibrating the monitor, and we'll walk through the process on both devices. So the first thing we're going to do, we've got the software on, or we were using the SpectraView software on the computer here. I've plugged in the little puck here, whatever you want to call it. And in this case, this device, it's kind of like it's got a little holder like this, and this is really nice actually because it kind of acts as a counterbalance. So I'll just pull out a little bit more cord, and then what we're going to do, at some point the software is going to tell us where it wants this device. It'll give us a little target, and then I'll align this. Sometimes what I do, I find on laptops, because you can kind of tilt the screen slightly backwards, but I find that on a desktop computer like this that's so vertical, you definitely, obviously you don't want any of a gap like opening up to allow light to spill in. So often what I'll do is I'll just take some painter's tape or masking tape and just very lightly tape it to the screen just to make sure that it's pushing up against the actual screen. So I'm going to do that, I think, on this one. The laptop, it won't be necessary, but let's start running through some of the calibration now. All right, so here we can see the SpectraView program has been launched, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Calibrate. It says it's not warm enough. It needs another 3 minutes. I'm going to proceed anyway. Don't tell me what to do, SpectraView. Okay, so you see what I mean now about the target. So basically what I'm going to do, you can't see this because it's a screen recording video, but I'm going to position the puck on to the monitor. And like I said, sometimes you can maybe get enough of a counterweight with this device, but I find that a little bit of tape goes a long way here. So I'm going to go ahead and just you'll probably hear this horrible noise. I'm going to go ahead and just use a little bit of tape. And now I've got my device attached right where I want it. Sorry about the noise. So I'm just going to snip off the end of the tape here. There we go. Okay, so my device is attached. It's firmly attached to the screen, and so I will hit continue. And you can see now it's getting started. It's starting to do all kinds of testing. It's basically, I'm not going to run this the whole time because it takes a few minutes, but it's going to start running through a whole variety of different shades of black and white and gray, and then all kinds of different colors. Then what happens is the software basically, based on this, what it's reading from this calibration device, it's going to decide how things are looking, and it's going to create what's called an ICC profile. It does all of this automatically. The software does it for you. You don't have to do anything. It'll generate that profile, and it will put that in the correct folder on your computer, and it will automatically start to use that as your new monitor profile. So it's really amazing, and when you're finished, you should see a much more true version of what other people would see for the same image. So I won't bore you with this whole software running through its progress. It's only at 46%. We'll jump ahead to the finished part, and we can see what it gives us. Okay, so there you go. You can see now it says calibration complete. The ICC profile has been created, and the ICC profile has been selected in the color management system. So that's great. So that's all you need to do. You can, if you really want to nerd out on all of, I'll say okay, on the data here, you can see how it's showing as much as possible of the RGB color gamut. I have no idea what this means. I mean, there's a lot of data here, but the most important thing is that it's setting the white point, the brightness, and that it's generating this ICC profile for your computer. So it's really as simple as that. Okay, so we've done the main computer. I've got my little helper here now, and we're going to do the laptop, hopefully without interference. I've got the software. I've downloaded it, like I said, from that little card. I have installed the software on my laptop, and I've opened it up here, and you can see with just a few quick clicks you wind up with this screen, which is basically right back to placing the device on the screen. Like I said, you don't really need to tape it on with the laptop because you can just angle it back, so let gravity do the work, but you can't really do that on a big monitor. So I'll just once again separate the little device, and I'll place it where it wants it to be. Maybe I'll just give myself a little bit more cord here. And then I'll just tip the laptop screen back a little bit so I can easily have that there. It's being held down. And now we'll just do the same thing. We'll just work our way through. You can see what's happening. It's doing some measurements. It's going to do its thing, and same story. It's going to generate that ICC profile. So my laptop should look the same as my main monitor. Now, with that said, can you just go out and buy the cheapest $100 monitor, calibrate it, and then expect perfect results? No, you can't. Of course not. Why would anyone buy a $2,000 monitor if that was the case? The reality is that different monitors are of different qualities. You stay away. Some monitors can show a much greater percentage of the true ICC profile, the true RGB color space. So what you want is your cat to not interfere with your monitor calibration. But you want a monitor that can show as close to possible of 100% of the RGB color space, not the sRGB color space. So a lot of monitors will claim to show 100% of the sRGB color space. That means nothing. It's such a small space. There, measuring completed. It's such a small color space, the sRGB one, that really isn't what you're after. You need something that can show ideally in the mid to high 90% of the RGB color space. That means that it can represent really a broad spectrum of the color palette, and then if you calibrate it, you should be in great shape. So if you're buying a new monitor, make sure it has over, let's say, at least over 90%, ideally over 95% of the RGB color space. And then get one of these great devices from Data Color, calibrate it up, and then you can proceed with learning all about Photoshop and how all these great tools we have at our disposal to make our images the best they can possibly be. But the essential first step is calibrating your monitor. So check out this device from Datacolor, the Spider X Elite. And you know, if you have any other questions about calibration or Photoshop processing, you can always shoot me an email, or check out my ebooks. Are extensively cover Photoshop and how to process your images for nature photographers. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and hopefully we'll be through this pandemic soon and we can all get back to doing what we really love, which is out taking the pictures in the first place. So thanks for watching. Happy New Year. We'll see you again soon.